Mike, your host of Craft Beer Storm. How are you doing today? It is Monday. So we interview somebody today, and we're going to interview Allo Gilinsky. He's the Craft Beer Concierge. He's out in California. He used to be here. He did Pints of Portsmouth tours. He came up from Boston with people, stopped at my brewery here, Bear Brewing Company, stopped at other breweries in the Portsmouth, New Hampshire facility, which I appreciate, and I lost touch with him. He moved out to California, and he now he's working for Russian River. He's like a tour guide there, and he's doing a lot of awesome things like the Craft Beer Concierge. He's studying for Cicerone, which is kind of like a sommelier for craft beer, and a lot of good stuff. He has a lot of knowledge, but let's get to it. And we have Allo Gilinsky of the Craft Beer Concierge on the line. How you doing, Allo?
I'm great, Michael. How are you? It's great to talk to you.
Man, I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It's been quite a while. I guess that's what happens when people move away, but I still have New Hampshire in my heart.
You do. You were here because we were stopping Pints of Portsmouth. You had the bus that came up from Boston.
That's right. I seized a great opportunity when I lived in Boston and saw a market that wasn't explored by people outside of New Hampshire, and thought, well, hey, I'm a tourist from Boston who found Portsmouth on a day trip. Why not bring other beer lovers and people who want to learn about beer up to Portsmouth and come to Barra, come to all the other breweries in town? And it was a great 2.5-year run running those tours with some really amazing people. Yeah,
it was pretty cool. I mean, when I started the breweries, there was like 20 breweries in the state. It was like 5 years ago, and now there's like over 100. So it's grown.
Well, I think I came in just at the right time because the nano brewery law had just been passed in 2011, and all these breweries were just starting maybe their second phase of brewing, expanding a little bit, yet they weren't distributing. So, of course, they wanted people from a different market to come up and try their brand, try their product, and spread the word.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. And we're doing some craft beer weekends, too. We include a bus in it as well, some food and beer pairings, a bus. We got one coming up at Victoria Inn here in Hampton. So, and we're scheduling some across, New England. So we're getting into that too. So it's a cool thing, just bringing people, exposing them to craft beer. That's the thing. That's what we try to do here on the podcast. So it's a good thing.
It's great. Craft beer is everywhere, and people love experiences. People love to experience beer, wine, travel, in a bunch of different ways. And it's just however we can connect others who want to experience things together.
Excellent. Enjoy life a little bit. But listen,
enjoy life, enjoy beer. Isn't that the New Hampshire state motto?
Enjoy beer. No, it's live free or die. I get the die part.
Close enough.
They're taxing me. But actually, there's no tax in New Hampshire, but it's okay. New Hampshire's been pretty cool. It's good. But listen, since the Pints of Portsmouth, what have you been doing? I see this Craft Beer Concierge, and now you're at Russian River. Man.
It's been quite a journey. I'm a native Californian. I left Boston in 2018 and came back to California because I got an opportunity to enroll in beer school. Yes, you can go to school for beer now. The program I enrolled in was out of San Diego State. Their extended education program has the business of craft beer. It's in essence 3 to 4 semester program that focuses on everything that's not just brewing. I am not a brewer. I am not a scientist or that mindset. My professional goals are to go into marketing, branding somewhere in the beer world. And I thought this was a great opportunity to get kind of a hands-on and networking experience and go to school for beer. I took classes anywhere from beer marketing to finance to brewery startup, also to beer styles and draft line management. It was a great comprehensive program where you could take anywhere from 6 to 13 classes and build your own curriculum.
That's awesome. So
it was a lot of fun.
And in San Diego State, San Diego, it's crazy, man. San Diego County is killing it. Like
160 breweries and counting in San Diego County.
Dude, it's like they have like $1 billion in revenue a year. With a B.
Yep, their economic impact in California and in the beer industry in general is pretty massive. They have some fantastic people down there. That's what I love about beer in general. That's what got me into the beer world, is the community aspect. I'm a small town guy. I like to live in bigger cities, but I appreciate that. Let's help each other out. Let's push to make our community the best possible for what we want to be known for. That's what I fell in love with Portsmouth on, was the fact that you could run down to Smutty Nose or Earth Eagle and borrow ingredients or a piece of equipment if needed.
Oh, yeah, 'cause the brewers are very collaborative here. And in general, I mean, the whole brewing community is fantastic people. I just came back from the Great American Beer Festival, and just great people out there. Everybody, all the brewers, people involved in the industry. Just very
You must be tired if you just came from back from the weekend at GABF.
I'm recovered.
You're recovered.
It's a lot of beer there, man. It's like, 60,000 people and just loads of I don't even know how many breweries there were there, but just loads by sections, of the country, like the New England, Southwest, Pacific, which is pretty much California, Northwest. And it's a lot of breweries.
Massive. It's on my ever-growing beer bucket list. I'll just put it that way.
It is a cool thing to do, and you got to go. Now you can get, you're a Craft Beer Concierge. Well, you should get some maybe passes through Russian River. They were there actually.
Yeah,
they were there.
They were there. They showed. Russian River's great. I just got hired there a couple weeks ago. Upon graduating beer school, I moved back up to Northern California, where my family is, and got a job at Russian River. I'm giving tours, and I'm working in their tasting room, and I'm just soaking in the amazingness that is their new 85,000 square foot facility up in Windsor, California. Huge different feel from their original brew pub, great menu. They have a beer garden. It's a fantastic place to come and kill an afternoon. It's a big beer playground, basically.
Oh, man, that sounds awesome. 85,000 square feet, that's crazy. That's a big place. They're making a lot of beer.
It's a fortress.
Where are they, they're distributing, but... where are they distributed? They're not out here. They're not in the East Coast. 3
states.
Just 3
California,
states.
California, Oregon, Colorado.
That's crazy.
They do some really fantastic beers. I'm very fortunate to work there. It's a great company, and I'm excited. I'm excited to learn. I'm always learning. That's what I love about beers. There's always something to learn. Through my Craft Beer Concierge page, that's my way of taking what I've learned and trying to share it with other people who are beer novices, beer experts, beer intermediaries. I am currently studying for my Cicerone, my certified Cicerone exam. I'd like to sit that within the next year. And so the more I can immerse myself in the world of beer through talking about it, through drinking it, through visiting beer experiential places. Like I went to Brewery Ommegang up in Cooperstown.
Oh, wow.
I love Belgian beers. That was a dream for me to get there. I just love to soak it in,
That's awesome. Beer is great. I would like to do the Cicerone as well. I need to do that. It's on my list.
It's a hefty exam. I actually just finished today putting together a binder of all my beer information from school that I had loose leaf and put it into one place so I could have it as an accessible thing to study.
That is cool. Beer Cicerone. It's like kind of a sommelier, but for beer.
That's right. It's a beer expert. Anything from how food and beer work together to proper service to proper glassware to education about beer styles and history.
Oh, yeah.
There's a breadth of information out there.
I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to focus. I got to put it on my calendar here. Okay.
Well, we'll get together and study sometime over a beer.
I think we should. I'm going to come out there and visit you, dude. Now you're out there. And I was like,
I'll hold you to it. You got to come out here. I'll show you around Russian River. Sonoma County, where I am now, it's wine country with a burgeoning beer scene. There are another dozen breweries. It's almost like a larger Portsmouth. There are another dozen breweries between Santa Rosa, Sebastopol, my hometown. It's great. You can hop around, pun always intended, to all these places and taste the local flavors.
Is Firestone Walker near you, or they're down south?
Firestone Walker's down in Paso Robles. They're about 5 hours south in central California.
Yeah,
California's a huge place.
Because I had David Walker on the podcast, and actually I saw him at a GABF. I'm like, that's him. So I went over and I took a picture with him.
One of your beer rock star moments?
Yeah.
I have that. Get to work near Natalie and Vinny every day.
Wow. That's cool. And we got to hook me up with Russian River Brewers or whatever. I got to interview them. That'd be awesome.
They will answer anything you need to know. They're a great bunch.
They're so cool. But what do you do exactly at the Russian River there?
So I'm in the tour guide facility, I guess. There's a separate tour lobby, and we give tours daily, 1 hour guided tours. We show you around the brew house, through the packaging line. You get to taste some beers. So we're giving 1 hour tours with the history of Russian River. And then I also work in our tasting room on the weekends, pouring beer, filling growlers, talking up all of our wonderful beers at Russian River.
That's so cool. That's awesome. I got to get out there. We got to figure it out. I keep telling people I'm going to go visit them. They're like, yeah, I'm going to get you. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay. I got to buy
You just
a
have to
one-way
spend
ticket.
a month and do the West Coast. Come up through San Diego, come through Central California, then end up in Oregon, and then get a liver transplant at the end of the trip.
You know, if someone sponsors me, I'll do that. Maybe Russian River can sponsor. You know, I was thinking about doing like Uber across America, right?
Uber across America, that has a nice ring
And
to
the
it.
target would be Russian River.
Not a bad adventure to have.
Maybe you got to talk to them, see if we can do something. I got to get some
I'll see what I can
sponsors.
do.
Maybe I could do
anything for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But you know, maybe get some sponsors along the way. We'll stop at their breweries and talk about things. That'd be an awesome thing, man. I got to do it. I have it on the wall here on my vision board here. That I have to
You have a vision board? I need to get myself one of those.
Oh, you got to get a vision board.
It
It keeps everything in perspective and reminds you like every day like what you have to do and what your goals are. So it's pretty cool.
That's a good thing to have, to be able to wake up every morning and look at that while you're drinking your coffee or drinking your beer, you know, whatever your poison is.
Here, yeah. Actually, I interviewed somebody in Shanghai. He was in Goose Island, Shanghai, and
Yeah.
It was like 7 a.m. for me. So I had my coffee, and it was like 8 p.m. for him. He had a beer. So there you go.
To each their own, right? What are you drinking right now? What are you enjoying these days, Michael?
Me? Oh, I got some stuff. It was stuff. We made a new cashmere IPA with some cashmere hops and mosaic, and then I infused some fruit in it, like some berries, strawberries. It's really nice. That came out.
Sounds really probably fresh and local. You know, it's end of summertime. Strawberries are probably really great right now.
Yeah, and then
cashmere's a hot new hop, isn't it?
Cashmere has been around a little bit. Yeah, cashmere's been around. Yeah, there's some newer hops and blends that I want to really start to experiment with. You know, they're always experimenting with things every day. Hybrid these hops, and I went up to actually in Maine, the hop yard. They're growing hops in Maine now, which is pretty cool. They have like
that is cool.
They have like
I didn't
10
know
acres. Yeah, they have like 10 acres of hops there. They have limited. It's like Cascade, and then I think Nugget. I think is up there as well. But they're working with Crosby Hop Farm out in they're in Oregon. So got to go visit those guys too.
There's a lot of hops up in Oregon and the Pacific Northwest.
I got to go. But so what's the Craft Beer Concierge?
Craft Beer Concierge is my way of taking what I've learned and sharing it with other people. It's kind of the name came to me because I've been a concierge by trade through working in hospitality. Concierge, by definition, is somebody who assists others in learning about the local area or finding out new information. And if I can take that into a beer subtext and promote myself and promote what I know about beer out there, I keep a blog, www.thecraftbeerconcierge.com. I write about anything from my beer travels to food and beer pairings. My latest post was about an Oktoberfest mac and cheese that I made where I use a Märzen and Oktoberfest lager inside the beer cheese sauce. Making me hungry just thinking about it now that I think back to it. And the Craft Beer Concierge is a concept that I think I could actually market someday down the road, where I could be a craft beer concierge for a company, a hotel, a small boutique inn, somewhere that I can, really help curate a beer list for a hotel restaurant, or be that liaison between breweries and hotels or Airbnbs to link people up with beer experiences.
Absolutely. Connecting people. That's what we
Vermont, the Hotel Vermont has a craft beer concierge. That's a job that I would love to have at some hotel someday down the road.
I'm sure. Well, in your area there's loads of awesome breweries.
Some awesome breweries. There's some small hotels. As I'm just moving back to Northern California, there's lots of new and uncharted territory since when I was growing up here that I've yet to explore.
Man, that's awesome. I think that's a great idea. And then you have blog posts as well. You talk about
I think writing.
You talk
is a
about
really
your
Oktoberfest
mac and cheese.
It's delicious. I'll have to make it for you sometime.
Would you have the recipe in here? Or?
Yep, the recipe's right on the blog. It's a breakdown of everything you do. The way I kind of Oktoberfest it, other than the beer, is I use bratwurst and caramelized yellow onions and stone ground mustard, all in the sauce. I simmer the brats and the onions in beer, and I even top it with ground up pretzels, so you get a pretzel breadcrumb topping. That's
so awesome.
And it's great to pair with an Oktoberfest beer or an amber-style lager. They complement each other really well.
Excellent. Now, Sierra Nevada's near you up there.
Sierra Nevada is about 3 hours up in Chico.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never been there
California's
before.
big.
That's another brewery bucket list item of mine.
California's big, man.
California, top to bottom, at a 17-hour drive.
Jesus.
And that's without traffic.
Forget it. And with traffic, it's like 40.
That's right. Yeah, something like that. It's going to make you want to drink a lot of beer when you're off the road.
Yes, you need some to recover from the drive. Yeah.
Yes.
But so that's awesome. So you felt now the beer school. I mean, getting back to that. I mean, what kind of like you have? Do you get a degree from it, or how does that work?
You end up with a professional certificate in the business of craft beer. That's the official certification that you end up with. It's a paper certificate. And it was the only thing I ever found similar was University of Vermont has an online beer education program, but I preferred the in-person aspect of it, being able to meet people in my classes who are home brewers or industry workers. And the more people you can talk to and learn from about beer, everybody comes from a different perspective. I find people who like certain beers that I don't, and I find that I like certain beers and styles and have different education than other people, and it's a great way to have a meeting of the minds in these classes and learn from each other.
But, it just depends on the taste, people's taste buds and what their preferences are. Some people like just dark beer, some people just like IPAs, some people like everything.
Well, I wasn't a fan of IPAs, actually, until I came to New Hampshire. You know the IPA that got me into IPAs?
What was that?
Stoneface IPA.
Okay.
Because I grew up in Northern California, land of hoppy beers, and I didn't like them. Yet when I came to New Hampshire and I started Pints of Portsmouth Brew Tours, we went to Whim Craft Beer Cafe just down the road, and they were serving Stoneface IPA. And I was hesitant to try it, and they said, well, this is the IPA we got on draft. And I said, sure, give it to me. And I loved it. And that's my aha moment when I realized you can find certain IPAs with certain hops that you might enjoy more than other hops. That was a Citra-loaded IPA, and I really found then, okay, well, now there's other beers with Citra hops in them that I can search out, especially now that the craft beer craze has grown and people do even list on menus how their beers are hopped because that's what the consumer wants to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are different, you're right, you're correct. There's so many different flavors that come off of hops. I mean, you can have...
And that was my aha moment with IPAs was, okay, Citra hops, now I know what kind of hops I like. Not all IPAs are bracingly bitter. And coming from the land of West Coast IPAs, that was an eye-opener to me.
Yeah, well, the West Coast IPAs are bitter, but
full of grapefruit, resin, and pine.
The piney, yeah, they call them dank.
Yeah.
And then they have juicy IPAs, which are, kind of aromatic, and what they do is they have hops.
Those are what I gravitate more towards. Yeah. But I've always been a Belgian beer and German beers. Those are the standards that I love.
Belgian and German beers are awesome. Have you been over there at Belgium and Germany?
Not yet. I'm hoping within the next year. As I said, I'm studying for my Cicerone exam, and I think be able to soak in the culture and talk to people who make the Lambics in Belgium or the Helles or Kolsch's in Germany would really, really be beneficial to me. So that's on my list for this next year in 2020 if I can swing. And I'm looking for my 2020 vision.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I want to connect with you and talk more about what you're doing and what I'm doing. There's got to be like synergy somewhere.
I'm sure we can find it.
We're going to find it, yeah, because you're like a go-getter. You got to go out and do it, and it's awesome. There's not too many people like that.
That's how you learn. I like to learn. I wouldn't have gone to craft beer school or back to school in general if I wasn't, thirsty, pun intended, to learn about beer.
But that's what you have to do. You just have to jump in. Like I started a brewery. I was a home brewer. I didn't know what I was doing.
And you figure it out on the way, and you have some great people with you, working with you and for you, and you forge those relationships, and, hopefully they take you to where you want to go or where you want to be.
Yeah, you go from 5 gallons to like 200 gallons all of a sudden. But
that's a massive scale up. More power to you.
But and it's been a roller coaster, but I've learned a heck of a lot about business and, what to do, what not to do, right?
Sure. And business practice is part of it. I mean, It's a big part of starting the brewery. Is the business aspect of it.
You got to focus on the business part of it and make sure that you can make some money. It's not just you brew beer and people just run in and buy it. It's just you have to deal with distributors, and then you have to look at margin, and they take a lot of the margin away. And then what are you left with? And does it make sense? And what people like, what they don't like, and
it's a jigsaw puzzle.
It is, and it's constantly changing.
Just piecing it together piece by piece.
Like packaging, when I started, it was 22-ounce bottles. So I'm like, I can do this. This is great. We can do business.
And then what? Less than 2 years later,
Freaking cans. Cans came out.
Packs
And
of
everybody,
16-ounce cans.
yeah, and that just destroyed all the margin. It was terrible. And then I started going to the cans because nobody's buying bottles anymore. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore because I can't make enough beer to make it make sense. So we went back to bottles, but I just sell them in the brewery and I sell them to craft beer stores. And then I do kegs now. I just get kegs out there to restaurants. That's better. So we
better quality
self-distribute.
for the beer anyway. You're keeping track of it better than transporting it in cans.
Yeah. So there you go, the craft beer world and the craft beer industry. But that's awesome, man. I reconnected with you, and that's great that you landed at Russian River. We're going to talk more. I want to come out and visit. And
you're welcome anytime. California doesn't get cold, so if you want to escape in February,
this is true.
Come out, hang out. I'll show you around.
I got to get some time. Maybe, I got to figure it out. I'll let you know. But
you let me know. I'm a phone call away, Michael.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on and giving us an update really on what's happening with Allo. Allo was around, then he moved out to California. I'm like, what happened? But that's cool.
I get that reaction from a couple people. Some people don't even know I left Boston.
Right.
Sometimes that's how I like it, keep people on their toes.
I've seen things, that you post. I'm like, what is he doing in California? Jesus. But I know what you're doing. So that's cool.
The mystery has been solved.
Exactly. And everybody knows about it now.
And I'm sitting here drinking a great Belgian Golden Ale from North Coast Brewery, Prankster. It's one of my favorites.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Well, cheers to you, Michael.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, take care. And that was Allo Gilinsky. He's the Craft Beer Concierge. I've known Allo for a while now, man. He came up to our brewery with people from Boston doing bus tours. And he's out in California, the epicenter, the awesome place, 1,000 breweries. And he's at Russian River, which is fantastic. He's got a job there. He went to beer school, and he just knows a lot about beer. So I hope you enjoyed the conversation with him. And that's, what we got for Allo. If you like our podcast, if you like what we're doing, go on iTunes. Please give us a rating and review. We got downloads that are increasing month over month, which is fantastic. But we need a lot more momentum to get up there. There's a lot of podcasts. There's some ridiculous podcasts. They haven't posted anything since like 2015, and they're still ranking on iTunes. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. But I do 3 podcasts a week here. I do on Mondays, we interview people like Allo in the industry. We're 360. We interview brewers, canners, whatever, distributors, people online, building platforms to sell beer and beer products and promote beer. Everybody in the craft beer industry. And on Wednesdays, we do beer styles. We go down the Great American Beer Festival list, which just came from the Great American Beer Festival a couple weeks ago, which is awesome. And then on Fridays, we do Craft Brew News. We just go and talk about the news of the week, what happened, the drama that is craft beer, who's suing who's opening, who's closing, new products, cannabis-infused stuff. Now hard seltzer is becoming crazy, right? We're talking about that. They're selling a load of hard seltzer now. It's nuts. But it's all good stuff, liquid, and it brings people together. People are passionate about it. We try to promote local breweries. So if you have a local brewery, go to it, support them. They work hard. Hey, you can come to our craft beer weekends, which we're scheduling in the Northeast for now. But you can go on craftbeerstorm.com. You can figure out where we will have them. Maybe we'll be by you. If you know any brewers, somebody that would be a great guest on the podcast, please send me an email, michael@craftbeerstorm.com. If you have any comments, let me know too. I like to improve. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're all over the place. Either Barra Brewing Company or Craft Beer Storm. That's what I have for you today. And I hope you have a great Monday. And we will see you on Wednesday with Beer Styles. Take care.